Okay, so this banded glute complex is something I like to use a lot, whether it's a variation of this for a warm-up or something like this for a finisher or extra credit. You can use a few different things for this. I'm going to be using one of these smaller bands, this Elite FTS mini bands. But you can also use the bigger ones, like the Rogue ones or Elite FTS or whatever brand it is, the bigger looped ones for this. But what you would do is just put like a knot in it, tie a knot in a little bit more than halfway, so that you get a little bit of smaller of a band. See, if it was halfway, the band would be a little bit too big. So if you just do it like about the same size as this here, you know what I mean? So just tie a little knot, have about, I don't know, 10 inches of bands that you put around your knees. Or you could even use one of these glute loops, but this one that I have is really tight and I wouldn't necessarily use it for this complex. This one is super hard, okay? But what you do is this. I'm gonna do 5 reps of each. You'll do whatever is programmed as far as reps, okay? I'm just gonna do 5 so you can see it. The first part, one thing to note is your heels or your feet don't need to stay flat on the ground. You can roll up onto the edges because you might be limited here, but if you roll up on the edges, you're still getting that glute activation. So I'm not concerned about the feet. Just try to push out as hard and as far as you can. This first part is going to be seated. So seated, sitting forward, or seated, leaning forward. You'll drive out, abduction, 5. Then you'll sit tall, 5. Then lean back. Like I said, I'm only doing 5 to 10 or so. You're gonna do whatever's programmed. Then from there, no rest, right into hip thrusts. Squeezing the butt. I don't care how high you get necessarily. It's more about the hard glute squeeze. Then right into bridged abductions, excuse me. And then seated abductions. And then reverse. Bridged abductions. Hip thrusts. And then back into the leaning back. Sitting up. Leaning forward. This is all done with no rest in between. It's gonna burn, but I think you'll learn to love it.